Alright, welcome back. This is MDawg, and we are here at Mosquito in our little rough spot. I happened to come check out Mosquito, and I wasn't going to stay here actually, but then they had two rough orders, and so I thought, well, we need to make silver right now. We're kind of at a crisis of, of where do we fish. Part of me wants to continue to experiment and do stuff at Quarry, but I think we at least need to get up to the 10 kilo type size reel to do that with any level of efficiency. I did see a comment in chat where someone was saying to them, even the Saber 60 or having that 10 kilos of strength still doesn't allow you to fish efficiently at Quarry. And that may be the case, but I think it's at least more of a viable option. Basically, when you can go to Quarry, it's an opportunity to just mix things up. And it's fun, right? You just like, how much bream fishing can you do without mixing in some other types of fishing and some other activities? So all that being said, what I was going to try, and we still may do it, is to go to Belaya and see if we can't do a little spin fishing there. Can I get our spin fishing fix? And then, maybe next episode we'll do bream again. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But when I saw the rough orders, I was like, okay, I don't know if we'll have long enough to actually get the order because of how late in the morning we started. But even if we can just get the smaller one, in terms of the amount of silver we'll get, it's worth it, right? So anyway, like I said, welcome back. This is, Leveling Guide 2021, 2022. We're now into level 16. And fishing for rough at Mosquito. And the person in chat on the YouTube video that left the message, they made a good point. In terms of efficiency, what you really want to do is save up for those, like the caliber HSVs. And I do think, if you're a lower level player and you've kind of got the bream grind down, you're doing good at Old Berg, the sooner you can start getting like disciplined about spending and focused on starting to work towards those caliber HSV reels, that does open up a lot of possibilities. You can spin fish with those almost anywhere in the game. You can start to fish for carp, especially at a place like Old Berg. And so, I tend to agree with that. If you're looking for like the most efficient route, then go ahead and, saving for a while to get those 3 carp rods or 3, stronger feeder rods and those 3 caliber HSVs is probably the way to go. It is just a long save for this early in the game. And so I think for many new players, if this is your first time playing Russian Fishing 4, that might not be the most fun route to take. Long term, you might regret that you didn't take that route, but in the short term, you might drive yourself crazy trying to save for that long, fishing for the same stuff over and over. So we'll see. What are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just fish for rough till they stop biting. Till they really slow down. And then we'll see which order we can fill, if either. I think they normally still bite until at least a couple more in-game hours. Like early morning like this, even though the sun's up now, I feel like you can still catch some rough. I guess we'll see. Yeah, that's what we want to see, some more of those markers. So, as we did last time we went for rough, we're using 22 hook size on the first and second, and then 24 on the third. Mostly that's because I just haven't... purchased additional 24 hooks. If I had another 24 hook, I'd probably use 2 24s and maybe 1 22. Uh-oh. Oof, thought we might have done that one too early, but we're good. It's crucian. I would put like regular worm in there. Dang, that's a fat one. But I don't know, I think regular worm, now that it's a little later in the morning, might catch like perch and other non-rough species even more than red worm will. So I think we'll stick with red worm across. We do need to keep digging red worms though. If we do go to Belaya, this will maybe just be a test, an experiment at Belaya, because obviously staying here this long, we're going to miss the like ideal time to be fishing at Belaya. The thing is, I'm not sure, you know, we're going to try to use our spinning setup, which is, you know, throw our Lacerti on here, and the mono line that we're using right now on the feeders. But the test, you know, even on this one, the smaller one is 18. So we're just not going to be able to throw it very far. We should use it on the dynamic. I bet it goes a little farther on the dynamic, to be honest. Are we still catching rough at all? Test is at least closer on that one. Yeah, we should try the dynamic, right? But again, the problem last time was with the dynamic, just can't cast it as far because of that test. But we'll see if we can get any fish on it. Let's perch again. We'll see if the next fish is that comes out. Well, we're not using ground bait. There's no harm in throwing it in again. Might be another rough. There you go. Are we not going to be able to catch any more fat ones, though? That's not a rough, right? No way. Okay. So if the order is still up, yeah, we'll get the cheap one. I don't think there's any way we'll get the expensive one. I don't think we've had enough big ones. Just depends on which orders they were. I think if one of these two fish aren't a marker rough, then we get out of here. Oh, I think that is. Oh, it's not quite marker size. It's interesting, the roach are really popping here a little bit. It's kind of cool. Yeah, look at this. We have moved off. We have moved off the rough. Alright, so this is how far we'll be able to cast it. Just don't know if that's going to be far enough, but we can try. But I really don't want to go back to fishing with the the free rod and no strength. Breadworms. I think I already did my free meal today, but we'll double check. We'll see if these rough orders are still active. I didn't notice the time. I didn't notice the sizes. Yeah. So, 4 short. Obviously, this order is amazing. 32 silver for 5 non-markers. Would we get 4 more that size if we fished overnight there? Probably. Is there any chance we're going to come back here and do that, though? I doubt it, but who knows? Just in case. Forgot to check food. It's just not very far. You know when it doesn't look like it's getting close to the rock, you're probably not casting it far enough. Like that's not even far enough for us to get that full speed up rotation in. Now maybe that's the trick doing it this way, is really let that thing drift a bit. Let the current take it. I guess the other thing we could also do is slow down the retrieval speed a little bit. Keep it in the water longer since we're not throwing it very far. we go. I like that. This one weighs a slight bit more. Might not work as good as the Hornet though, I don't know. Oh. That was like 100% my fault. I could have left it in the water longer. Without really thinking about it, I hit that right trigger and lifted it right out of the water. Alright, just for comparison. Let's see what happens here. God, we're gonna lose this expensive lure, aren't we? Goes so much farther. That seems pretty bad at the moment. Again, we missed the, we would have probably caught some pretty nice fish first thing in the morning. Alright, let's go up here. Let's just try another spot before we give up completely. I think that first spot we were at, I think that's been the most active spot recently though. Can we not get around that? That's a brown trout. Ooh. What's going on here? Rough everywhere. It's not bad. They need to be a little bigger to get a little more impressive, but it's not bad. Okay. Should we throw it with the longer one here, see if we get any better results at a little farther distance? Those brown trouts are going to feel like monsters on this setup, though. They are here. You cast so much farther when the test is appropriate. Is this a little 600 gram brown trout making us work for it? I don't think it's big enough to last long. I think we'll get it in. I could be wrong, of course, but that's my feeling now. You getting tired? I think he is. If we could get him to the surface, it's game over. So we want this to be a grayling or a brown trout, not an asp, based on the size. Uh-oh. Couldn't tell. I don't think it's a grayling. It's a brown trout. So let's see what this is compared to the other ones we've been catching. That was a lot of work for a 906 gram brown trout. So 690 was the last one that we had caught. Do we have any heavier? So these are 7.03, but do they ever work here? How far down were we? We were like here-ish. I think that went farther. The question is, did it go far enough? Still not as heavy as the test. I think once you get up to these bigger spinner baits, though, the performance dips so far down compared to the little guys. That looks so big in the water. These kind of fish like those small little spinner baits, apparently. You just kill the bite rate when you go up in size a little bit. Unfortunately, even like, you know, the Hornet 2 or Hornet 3, like I don't think those would work very good either. So even the same spinnerbait, just larger size, I just don't think you'll have the same result. What's the bigger one worth? 12 silver? Unfortunately, if you really want to fish at Belaya, I think to be efficient and all that, like, you basically need to buy something to, you know, buy gear that gives you a little more wiggle room, a little more power here. We definitely have found the brown spot. I mean, no question about that. No question. All right, so really what we're looking for is a medium. Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be terrible. We can get our full strength out of that on the Lacerti. But about 489 silver. Okay, I mean, yeah, it's a little cheaper. It's not the perfect test, but it's closer at least. Let's see, there's a medium. Okay. That's probably close enough. So that gets down to 224 silver. You know, I don't know. It just depends on how committed you are to fishing here. If you're committed to it and you're going to do it, you're going to make that silver back no problem. If you're like me and you spend too much time spin fishing, especially from the shore like this, you start going crazy and you just want to get your feeders out, it might end up being a waste. you go. See, if I can use this rod and get them, we can get those suckers in pretty efficiently. You know, and if we hit a 2 kilo one, yeah, we're going to be fighting for our life. But then if you get a 2 kilo brown trout in, you get paid. So telling you, they are here. Where's our brown trout order when we need it? If it was a grayling spot, I think I'd be more inclined to just like throw the smaller setup. But knowing that it's like almost 100% brown trout in this spot, it just doesn't seem like the way to go. I wish we could find a bigger lure they would bite on though. Now we could put points into spinning reel. I mean, I think there's wisdom in doing that anyway. And that would help a tiny bit. Ooh, yeah. That grayling just came out of nowhere. So that would give us 15%. We've got 2 points. I'll do one of them. I will do one of them. Every 15% counts kind of thing. The other thing I'm thinking about doing, and this is breaking my own rules a little bit, but I'm thinking about sending myself, I'm not sure if that was a marker one or not that just fell off, but thinking about sending myself that 200 silver light spinning rod from my main account, because there's part of me wants to test that out for you guys to see if it's a legitimate option. I mean, at 200 silver, it's not that much silver that I think you could justify doing that pretty easily. But I kind of want to make sure that, I mean, it's still a little over test. I want to make sure it actually casts these things pretty far before I recommend you spend 200 silver at this level on a spinning rod. Because what you really want is one of those light ones, but then you're talking about 400-ish silver, 350 to 400. Then it's probably a no-brainer. Perch. Let's cast here one more time. And then let's go try the grayling spot one more time. Before the evening starts. think the brown trout, I mean, if it doesn't seem like the graylings are very good down here at the moment, we should run back down because there's a reasonable chance we'll hit a big brown trout sort of in this more ideal time, especially first thing in the morning. But I also would like to know if it's worth fishing down here too. With either setup, this one or the weaker one. Yeah, I don't like that. This time of day, not even getting a bite, even if it is the first cast. It's a little iffy. I don't think braided line makes a difference on casting distance in this game, does it? Maybe one of you guys will know that. I don't know that I've ever really tested that. This does not feel as active as it normally does to me. I thought I'd heard from somebody that this spot was kind of popping off a little bit right now, but I'm not so sure about that. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I don't think it is. Now, every once in a while, a little further down, is a good option, but if we don't catch something here, we're going to hustle back and try to get one more cast in at our brown trout place. Does not seem very productive here right now. It's a little late, but we'll see. Probably the last cast. Unless something exciting happens. Night grayling? Alright. Whale. It's so weird how sometimes the audio level seems to change on its own sometimes. Okay, so 65 silver, not bad, and kind of fun, you know, kind of fun to do that during the daytime. Let's see if this rough order is still available. And how long it's available. We may wrap it up here. We might fish for rough a little bit longer and see how quickly they'll bite during the nighttime. Yeah, we got plenty of time. But we would need 4 of them. It's no small task. It's like, what, 2 over 106 or something? Is that what it was? Sorry, 6 over. Maybe it was 100. We've got 2 of them, so it's got to be right around that 100 gram mark. If we get a couple more pretty quick, then we'll try to hang in there. If it takes a long time, then we'll just take what we've got. What happened to the clip? Oh yeah, I took the reel off and used it for spin fishing. Okay. Let's see, what am I going to go do? I think I'm going to go test a carp spot on my main account. If it goes well, I might even do a little video about it. But honestly, it's going to be pretty similar to what I've been trying lately, so if it doesn't go particularly well, if it's not particularly interesting, then I may just not do it. This is definitely risky because if we don't finish the rough order, then you got to think about like, okay, how many bream would we have caught during this part of one night and part of another night? Bream is always the safer option if you've got the gear for it, which we do at this point. All right, that one, it's not big enough. Oh, please be a rough. It is not a rough. So we've got 898 in terms of clips. It's crazy. We're at 38.3. We're still getting points by digging occasionally. So far, good bite rate. Now we just need to see one of those 100 gram ones show up pretty quick. Alright, what's it on? What are you going to guess? 1, 2, or 3? Well, 3 is clearly the answer now. Oh, that is a rough. That might be it? Nope. Man, you forget how big 100 grams is for a rough. I mean, you know, if we keep getting some marker rough for a couple minutes here, even if we don't hit the cafe order, rough silver still not terrible for the amount of work you're doing. Ooh, that's a big boy. Yeah. All right, that's 3. Not a big boy. Was it just a dream I had, or did we, yeah, we trophied bleak recently, didn't we? That was crazy. We had 2 trophy bleak in the same episode. That was fun. Maybe that's what we should be doing too. That's the other option. It's like, during the day, do you want to go catch bleak or do you want to go spin fish at Belaya? Belaya is a little more exciting, but those bleak are consistent right now at winding. I do like the variety. When you can get the variety of different types of fishing, different fish you're targeting, that's pretty fun. Not even halfway there. Getting late enough. We probably shouldn't see any more roach show up, I wouldn't think. We need to hit another one here pretty soon, or I'm gonna just have to give up for tonight. It's a marker, but it's not a big boy. Oh, what in the world has bitten into our red worm? Like a little bream? Oh, it's a bigger roach. Big ol' roach. That might have to be it, huh? Ooh. We are grinding it out right now. I think we're going to call it. Let's see if we made any silver at all. Is this going to put us over? Let's see, we've got 150. Can we hit 185? That'll be our goal here. Just couldn't do it. Now, I think if you fish that spot 2 solid nights, you would probably get there. But I'm starting to feel like, you know, we stay here till 7, 8 a.m. We might still be one short just because we didn't get the full first night. I just don't, it's not worth the chance. And we've already gone pretty long at this point on this episode, so we're going to wrap it here. Let's see if we did anything. Okay, that's not bad. Alright, puts us at 195. We're clawing our way back up in terms of silver. But we did get the 2 spinning rods we needed to troll, so we're kind of set there. Now we just got to save some for some reels, see what we want to do with that. Alright. Peace out, everybody. Tight lines, and I will see you next time.